Hi, I'm Anna from Twitch.
I don't care, Anna from Twitch. I don't think you're that famous. Oof, that's not what I watch. All right, this is gonna be a fast, easy one. Moment. Double check to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. Live is live.
Axe likes this very much.
Welcome to
Coffee with Toffees.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Let's do this!
Good evening and welcome back to a fresh episode of Coffee with Toffees, guys. It is Friday night. It's a little late. Normally I like to do the show on Thursdays, but let's be honest, we had some tournament games and some other big stuff happen that made me push the show back a night, but it is still 12:30 in the morning, and it's going to be fast and quick because there's some news that's come out, not a ton of new stuff. We're going to cover the little bit that there is, update on a few tournaments, and then talk largely with PL Proxy, our new reporter and writer, about ESL and sort of his preview for what to look for as the games start up tomorrow and run through the weekend. So, a couple of things out on the docket. News-wise, Faceit has announced that Tuesday will be the open qualifiers for the next Dota Major, so make sure that you do check that out. If you want a team, if you have a team that you think can make it all the way to the big show, Tuesday is your day to get that show started. Other news that is pretty big, and I do want to... Actually, you know what? Before we go too deep into the news, I need to take a second for two things. First, I forgot to thank the sponsors. Razer, obviously a big deal in the show. Very helpful to me as well as the show, and a big shout out to them for helping out. And also to a good friend of mine, a guy named Voodoo. Peter, is his real name, but you probably know him as Voodoo Dota. Has been an amateur caster around the scene for a while. There's a lot of folks in the 82L as well as other leagues. He is officially shipping out tomorrow for a 1-year deployment, which means we're not going to see him. We had a send-off tonight, which is why I'm on so late. But to a guy who has been a consummate professional and friend since the days that I started Dota. Early on, I used him as a co-caster a ton in a lot of different stuff, and is a great resource in this game. And I hope that he got as much from me as I got from him, outside of just a quality friendship. But him, his girl, they are wonderful people, have been an absolute blessing to have on the scene and in my life. And I want to say good luck, best wishes, and thank you for your service. I really appreciate the year that you're going to be spending out there. Without Dota, without internet, for all I know, putting your life potentially in danger, and means a lot. So thank you from myself, from the show, and from everybody involved for helping to get this thing started so very, very long ago. So if you guys don't follow him, at Voodoo Dota is his Twitter account. It's at Voodoo, just like the spell casting or whatever the Voodoo thingamajigger is, and Dota. You know what? Send him a thank you for your service. Let him know that we care. Even if it's just because you like me, I think that it would be something really nice for him. So at Voodoo Dota, check him out. Now let's get back to the show, get back on track, talking about the news. So we covered Face It. Here's another interesting thing that this is pretty big news, and it is the fact that Fire, Team Fire, who we had on the show, we talked to Fluff and Stuff about 2 weeks ago, has officially signed with Archon. So Archon Gaming has a new team. This team, we'll see how they fit. It's honestly, in my personal opinion, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, if you could take two teams, both from the North American region, that are very polar opposite in terms of personalities, and even to a certain extent, I think, play styles, that is old Archon and new Archon. So new Archon should be pretty interesting. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch, and I'm very excited to see what they do going forward. So definitely check them out. Congratulations, by the way, boys, taking Fire to a sponsorship so quickly. It is, as we know, very tough to do, and these guys did it very, very well. So good luck, Fire. We'll be watching, or I should say good luck, Archon. Now, let's talk about tournament wrap-ups. Those are stuff that's sort of what's going on right now. And then as soon as we get through tournament wrap-ups, we're going to have the ESL preview. So if you're here for the ESL preview, stick around. This won't take long. We'll get straight to that. And as we flip over to the tournament roundup, I do want to mention that on a previous show, I said that there was not going to be a compendium for the majors, and I assume that that was because of the fact that there was no crowdfunding. But apparently what that actually meant was that there is no crowdfunding, and Valve is going to do compendiums and just keep the whole total for themselves, I guess. So I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if they're doing that to maybe try to keep compendium levels in majors not getting to the level of TI, because honestly, if they crowdfunded, I would not be surprised to see majors jump up to 5, 6, 7 million or possibly more, because we are crazy about our hats. An interesting move by them. I'm still not sure how I feel about it, but I will continue to think about how I feel about giving all of my money to Valve instead of at least being able to pretend that some of that cash is going towards funding a tournament prize pool that I really support. All right, tournament roundup. Here we go. Let's talk about MLG World Finals first. The tournament will happen 2 weeks after ESL, and for some teams, it will be some kind of a rematch for that event. North American qualifier, C9 took a convincing 3-0 victory over DC and secured the second LAN qualification this fall. So they are looking very good. C9, who I think was rough and a lot of folks doubted, have secured LAN qualification spots and have really been stepping up their game lately. With it, you could even say maybe that we have to consider them the second best North American team right now. It will be interesting, obviously, to see how they perform on an international stage. Participating teams in MLG Worlds are officially Secret, VP or Virtus Pro, Evil Geniuses, CDEC, LGD Gaming, MVP Phoenix, Monkey Business, and finally, Cloud9. The second tournament we're going to talk about briefly is Nanyang. That is the EU qualifiers underway. 5 Jungs took the European spot after winning a great 5-game series against Vega. If you didn't watch those matches and are hungry for some good and very exciting Dota, you should definitely watch them. With that, Vega, MB, and 5 Jungs all have qualified for one LAN this fall, and we still have no clear leader in the EU scene. Participating teams for this tournament will be Secret, Virtus Pro, CDEC, LGD, VG, Fnatic, Cloud9, eHome, who's looked very good, but unfortunately is not going to be at ESL. Probably should have put that in the news. They were unable to secure their visas and were replaced by, I believe, IG. So eHome, unfortunately, not going to be at ESL New York. Very sad for me. 5 Jungs and one more qualifier waiting for the SEA to finish up. So Nanyang shaping out to be a great tournament and give us a good insight into sort of how the EU scene may start to play out. I'm very curious to see sort of which of those teams rises to the top of all these guys who've qualified for LANs. The Defense Season 5, Stage 1. In the first group, quite surprisingly, Team Alternate and Scary Faces are on top of the group and will very likely advance to the next stage. 5 Jungs also look very good and most likely will round out the top 3. In the group B, MB, and 4C and L are on top, and also quite surprisingly, again, Power Rangers are looking good to advance. Now, I say that because Power Rangers are one of those teams that they're hot and they're cold and they're hot and they're cold, and I love watching them because they're exciting. But at the end of the day, you never really know how they're going to do. So it seems like they're doing pretty well. Excited to see where they end up. With such results, we'll have some lesser but still very talented teams in the Stage 2, which is always nice to see. Definitely take a look at some of the ATN's games, as those guys are very talented. 3 teams from each group will advance in the next round to face off in 2 similar groups with 6 invited teams. The Summit 4 is out. The docket is up. This is a crowd favorite tournament. Everyone loves to watch it. Every region is stacked. Everyone wants to qualify, so look for some really great teams in this tournament. That's all I can really say. So as far as the teams go, if you look at the qualifier lineups, it is huge, man. Europe is Vega, Monkey, Virtus, NT, Alliance, Empire, 5 Jung, Secret, Navi, 4ASC, and Ninjas in Pajamas. That's huge. That's going to be a slugfest I cannot wait to watch. China's Vici, eHome, Newbie, CDEC, LGD, IG, and then the pre-qualifier winners. So all of those teams could easily take some wins. Maybe not Newbie, but we'll find out if they maybe bounce back a bit here. America's Digital Chaos, Complexity, Void Boys, Unknown, Imagine, Cloud9, Sector 5, HCWP, Root, Pain, Archon, and Not today, it looks like. So that's another group that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Those games, those teams very, very tentative to fight for those top positions. Should be fun. SEA's First Departure, MVP Phoenix, Team 123, Mineski, Fnatic, Trust, TNC, and then whoever wins the open qualifier. Meanwhile, there will obviously be redemption votes and secondary qualifiers and all of the kind of stuff that you tend to see. We also know that the people working the event, well, big surprise, be the BTS staff, LD, Gods, Coddle Guy, Merlini, Winter, and special guests. I don't know what that means. I have not been spoken to about it, but I do like to think that I am special. So hopefully I get a chance to go back to the summit. I had a blast when I was there last time. It is a great event, and I'm looking forward to watching and whether or not I'm there, spending time enjoying that thing, because it is a top-notch experience. If you watch my blog post BTS 4, you'll see just how I really felt about it. That's it for the tournament roundup. That's kind of the stuff that's happening outside of ESL, because everyone's talking about ESL. That is the word on everyone's lips. So what I did here for the show is I invited one of our contributors, Proxy PL. You may be familiar with him. He does a feature here called Proxy's Corner, where he talks a little bit about the scene and does some assessments and things like that. He is going to give you a breakdown of what to look for in ESL. This gentleman writes for Join Dota as well as a couple of other websites and spends a lot of time studying the scene. Not like me, who studies mostly North American and some Western stuff. He is very connected to the whole scene in general. So curious to hear what he has to say. So without further ado, this is Proxy PL giving us the ESL breakdown.
Hi guys, this is Proxy with another episode of Proxy's Perspective. Today we're gonna talk about ESL 1 New York. However, before we get into that, I would like to recommend a match for you. And it is Monkey Business versus Vega Squadron, the finals of Nanyang European qualifiers. This series have been great. It's a best of 5 which went to the 5th deciding game. We have a lot of exciting Dota, a lot of really exciting matches and really interesting plays. So if you're hungry for some good games, definitely check it out and let me know how you liked it. So let's get into the ESL 1 New York preview. The first thing that we should talk about here is the fact that ESL New York is the first LAN tournament after TI5, which means we haven't seen top teams play in 6 weeks. We had Reborn come out, we had new patch, a lot of changes, and we cannot really be certain how teams will perform, and it is really a tournament that might see a lot of surprises. Secondly, this tournament is very interesting because it is the only LAN tournament before the invites to the first major come out. So some teams might really have a pressure to perform because of this tournament they might secure their invite to the first major or might have to play in the qualifiers if they do poorly. So this tournament will be really crucial for them. The prize pool is 250,000. and some crowdfunding, which is really negligible last time I checked. The format will be single elimination bracket with every match happening as a best of 3. So for this tournament I'm not gonna talk about every team and then about pairs and then about what I think will happen, because that might take too long and I want to keep this preview short and sweet. So the way we're gonna do it is I'm gonna talk about every pairing, talk a little bit about the teams, talk how I think they match against each other, and then I'm gonna talk about how I think the tournament will unfold. So let's get straight into it, and the first pair is Team Secret versus Fnatic. This pair is highly interesting because both teams changed their roster significantly. Team Secret changed 4 players and Fnatic 3, I believe. Let's talk about Team Secret first. Team Secret played only 3 official matches. It was in the WCA qualifiers. The qualifiers to the tournament were highly interesting because they had 87 and 500, I believe. The prize pool was 87,500, and the tournament itself, the prize pool is $650,000, I believe. So everyone tried really hard, and Team Secret took those qualifiers with ease, and they destroyed Virtus Pro, a very strong team, in the finals 2-0. So Papi managed to get together a really strong Western team. However, this will be the first LAN they are together, and at the first LAN you play, you never perform as well. On the other hand, we have Fnatic, who also changed their roster significantly and also will be playing their first LAN together. They have won the qualifier spot in the region, but they weren't really very good in those qualifiers. They weren't that dominant force that Fnatic used to be previous to TI. So they took the grand final 3-2 against MVP Phoenix, but those 5 games could really go either way. So I don't believe that Fnatic is yet that strong. So in this pairing I would believe that it's gonna be Team Secret who's gonna take it and advance to the next round. Next pair we have Fire versus CDAC. CDAC Gaming, the second place finishers from TR, haven't actually played a single game since the memorable grand finals. So we don't really know what's their form, how much they practiced, how good they are, how they are on this patch. We really know nothing about them. But we have to keep in mind how strong they are individually and how they took TI by storm, and definitely they still should be the favorites for this tournament. Their opponents, Team Fire, this is a new team created after the NA reshuffle post-TI. It is led by Fluff, and actually it was kind of a surprise that they took the win in the qualifiers and will play at this event. One would expect C9 or maybe DC to play from this region, but actually it was Fire versus Complexity in the finals and Fire took it. But either way, I don't really believe that Fire is as strong as CDAC, even if they practice more and play more, so I would expect the Chinese team to advance. Next pair we have Virtus Pro and Invictus Gaming, and actually I think this is the closest match, what we have in the first round. VP haven't changed their roster at all since TI, and finishing 6th, the best European team that finished at TI. They will be coming into this tournament hoping to destroy it because they have the same roster, they have experience from TI. However, they haven't been so strong yet in this season. They only played 3 official matches in the same qualifiers that Secret did, and actually lost to them in the finals 0-2 in a pretty convincing fashion. So I'm not thinking that VP is in top form yet. They are probably think that they should take the first major by storm because of their performance at TI, but right now they aren't really showing the top form. And on the other hand, we have IG, who haven't really performed well at TI, changed their roster a little bit, and now are playing in all those qualifiers in China and actually doing very well. They are the team alongside eHome that have been in both finals of the Chinese qualifiers to some LAM tournaments that happened, and actually lost to eHome in both of those qualifiers. But eHome, due to visa issues, couldn't come to events, so we're gonna have IG with a stand-in, I believe. But anyway, IG has been playing a lot, not like VP, and they actually might really take this match. So I think this is the closest match, and I believe that IG might really take it. And the last pair we have, this is Vega Squadron versus Evil Geniuses. Of course, Evil Geniuses, the defending champions, and also the team that will be playing on home soil, this is the team to beat. However, they changed one player. They replaced AUI with Arteezy, which actually pushed Fear to the 4th position. But Fear is a very versatile player and actually have been playing support in the past. So I believe this will really not impact EG's play at all, if even that will give PPT a larger room to draft and more heroes to use. However, we don't know how much EG practiced, and after winning over $5 million, there's really no guarantees how the team will perform at the first LAN and if they practiced at all. However, all of the players are really strong individually, and I believe that they're gonna definitely put a good fight in this tournament, but I don't really believe they will win. Their opponents, this is Vega Squadron, and Vega Squadron has been really fighting in Europe, playing a lot of matches, and they've gone far in nearly every qualifier that happened in Europe, but only qualified to this LAN. So they will feel like they have to use this opportunity to perform very well. They also, like VP, haven't changed a single player from their roster, and their performance has been better and better. However, they're going against EG, and that might be a problem. But I think this match might be the biggest upset of the tournament, because Vega has been playing a lot, will be familiar with Reborn, will be familiar with Patch, and I believe that if anyone from these 8 teams participating in the event could upset EG, this is Vega. However, I still have to go with EG winning this match. So what do I think about the rest of the tournament? Well, I think that EG is the strongest team by far individually, and should probably get through VP or IG with relative ease after taking out Vega, and they will be in the finals. On the other side, we're gonna have CDAC and Team Secret, and this is a really hard match to call, because Team Secret has been looking really strong, and CDAC, we don't really know how they will perform outside of TI, which was their breakthrough tournament really. It's hard to call, but I'm gonna go with CDAC just because I want to get EG versus CDAC in the grand finals, and also I think that all those pub stars from CDAC will try really hard to show that TI wasn't only V1 tournament they shined in. We're gonna have then EG versus CDAC in the grand finals, and I believe that CDAC might take it, because EG has been known not to be a strong team in a single elimination format. I believe they are the best team in a big 16 teams tournament with a double elimination bracket after a huge group stage, because they can adapt well, and PPD is a great thinker. He knows how to react to a team after he plays a certain team. But this time they don't have a rematch, they don't have a lower bracket, and this is a single elimination, and there is a reason that EG has been in the finals of ESL 1 so many times but haven't won it any time. So I believe that CDAC takes this grand final and wins their first tournament. This is my preview, guys. Tell me how do you like it, and you can follow me at ProxyPL. Peace.
All right, so thanks to Proxy for putting that together for us to get a little bit of a view on what's going on in ESL. I think you got some good insights there. I also agree that EG is squared away to probably take the whole thing, but I would look for some upsets and a lot of interesting things and probably some flexes to the meta to come out during this tournament, so it should be a lot of fun. that is about it for tournament recaps. I do want to mention something, and that is the Collegiate Star League, guys. If you are watching, if you're a college student and you have a team or want to put together a team or a club in your college, check out CS. It's basically cstarleague.com. Go to the Dota 2 division and get registered because the tournament is starting now. I believe the grand final will be in San Francisco at an actual LAN event. And myself and Gorgon the Wonder Cow will be headlining the casting, doing featured casts at least twice a week for this tournament. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great experience if you are in college and have a team that wants to play. It's very, very competitive. I went to the LAN final last year and got to really enjoy that. So if you're interested, check it out. Definitely a big shout out to Razor for helping us keep this show going. Obviously a big shout out to patreon.com/Toffees and all the supporters there who have helped to keep the show running, pay for all the stuff that we need to do to sort of keep this thing going. That said, I'm also wearing a hat tonight. You may notice the Coffee with Toffees hat. We've dropped the mug. It was too difficult to ship, and the company that we had making it has stopped making it. So now we do have the hats. They are available if you go to twitch.tv/Toffees_Dodo2. You can order your hats directly there. That's it for the show, guys. That's all we've got for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy ESL New York, and we should be back with a brand new episode of Around the Pit coming to you live this Sunday evening at 11 p.m. Have a wonderful night, and as always, Toffees out.